And so now we're going to walk you through vocabulary so that you can enhance your understanding of how to facilitate a Model UN session. So the first word of the day is placard. It's printed, the country that the students represent on one side, the talking points on the other. Caitlin, how is this actually used during the session?
This is representing the students, so it will be placed in front of them. And I always tell students to raise their placard horizontally when they want to be called on, and vertically when they want to vote. It makes it much easier for you as a facilitator, so I definitely recommend teaching that one up front.
Placard, very good. Roll call.
Roll call is just glorified attendance taking. That's really all there is to it. You list the countries that are in the room. If they're present, they raise their placard and say present.
And I think yesterday you made a valid point too. For delegates participating in the conference, roll call also is an opportunity for them to see who else is in the room that they might want to form an alliance with as the debate proceeds. Fair to say?
Very fair.
Wonderful. Next vocabulary word would be speakers list.
Speakers list is creating an order in which students will give their opening speech. And we do this at the beginning of the conference to provide some more formality to the start and to get the discussion going in a more rapid fashion.
And when we speak about an opening speech, I guess an opening speech would be the perspectives of that country being represented so that the other delegates can hear.
You're introducing your country's perspective, and you're introducing how you understand the problem, how it's affecting your country, and what recommendation your country sees as a potential solution to the issue.
Very interesting. The next word would be moderated caucus. Moderated caucus. What's a moderated caucus?
This is really just a normal classroom discussion. So instead of students raising their hands, they're going to raise that placard, they're going to raise it horizontally. Apparently that's a big thing for me. And you call on them one at a time. The speaking time can be shorter on these, and I really encourage students to build off of each other's points and respond to each other during this phase of a discussion.
Another word is unmoderated caucus. Can you share with us the distinction between moderated caucus and unmoderated caucus?
Absolutely. Students love an unmoderated caucus. So if a moderated caucus is where is just a normal class discussion, an unmoderated caucus is where students get to stand up and go talk to each other and form those alliances and find areas of agreement. Now, a pro tip for this one is anytime there's an unmoderated caucus where students are talking to each other, have them come back, sit back down at the end, and then ask them to share what was discussed in the unmoderated caucus with the whole classroom, and that brings the discussion back together as a group.
So the learning continues. And to the point of the roll call, how you said earlier, when students hear the other countries that are in the room, perhaps at an unmoderated caucus, you can make your way over to speak to a country to try to begin to form a resolution.
Absolutely. If students can take notes on what was said by countries during the opening speech, they can use that as their cheat sheet to go find the countries that they want to talk to during an unmoderated caucus.
Fantastic. And now I think one of the biggest words, the resolution process of this, but prior to the resolution, we move to a vote. Can you share a little bit about what that process is and what it looks like?
Absolutely. So this one is a little complicated because, as you and I know, at a Model UN conference, this process can take 8 hours or 2 days. So what we're doing for a classroom simulation is what we call a straw poll vote. And a straw poll vote is just a basic recommendation or a basic statement of what a resolution should become or should develop. So I like to provide a few possible resolutions to students in advance that they can then vote on at the end. It brings closure to the discussion. Now, if you have 8 hours or 2 days to do this, you can have students actually write out full resolutions, present them, and vote on them. But the simple version is almost like a multiple choice question at the end, where different countries make their final statement of what they believe the UN should pursue as a possible resolution.
So there's an art of persuasion to this entire thing.
Absolutely. There's speaking, writing, listening, reading, and really an opportunity to build consensus.
Another vocabulary word is chair. Caitlin, what's the chair?
The chair is simply the facilitator. So just as your students are representing countries, you are no longer the teacher. You are indeed the chair, and you have total control over all committee proceedings.
If we wanted to have one of the delegates or one of the students be a chair, is that permissible in Model UN?
Absolutely, and they love to be the chair.
Fantastic. And what do they love about being the chair? I see you have something in your hand. What's that called?
Well, this is the tool of ultimate control. It is the gavel, and it adds a level of formality to the debate. The chair uses the gavel to signify the end of time and to signify a resolution has been passed. So you bang the gavel like so, and if you ever forget your gavel or don't have a gavel, I find a stapler works just as well.
Fantastic.